The other thing we could do too is just have regular conversation and then go into the intro. But anyway, welcome back to an episode of Frank Presents the Play Call. We are back. Week 1 of preseason is going on. Me and Bree's predictions ain't looking the same. It ain't looking too hot. On a good Saturday, now we got the whole team on. So I'm joined with Bree, June, looking fresh. I like the shirt and the hat, bro. Nikki. June, how you doing, bro? How's everything going on this Saturday? You went and got pampered today? You pampered yourself?
Man, I went and got my feet done today. Let me tell you something about life. If getting a pedicure is not in your top 5 things in life to do, you need to go grab that mirror and take a long look at yourself. Because let me tell you, ain't nothing better than somebody rubbing your feet, clipping your nails, taking the dry skin off of that, and making you feel so good on top of that hot, warm water while thinking about the Eagles playing at 7 o'clock on a Saturday. So that was my morning.
I never had a pedicure. Never.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. You know what? Check. Hey, that's going to be my thing. I'm going to book you one on behalf of the Pod Squad.
I just never did it, man. I first off, I'll tell you offline why, but it's just I don't know. I'm real weird about people clipping my toenails, and I don't know. That's what throws me off. If I was comfortable with that, I probably would do it because I would. Who doesn't want to get pampered? But I really real iffy with my people clipping my stuff. I like to clip my own shit. So, but that's dope, man. That's dope, Bree. It is only, 12 o'clock for you over there? The life.
I had a nightmare last night. Oh my God. I woke up running out of my bed, like screaming. Mm-hmm. I had a dream that I was being chased by a raccoon and he jumped on top of my leg. Oh,
was it the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy?
No, it was a raccoon. Oh, I was like at 12:58 a.m. and then I just knocked back out and went back to sleep. Toby was looking at me like I was weird. I jumped out of my bed. But I'm doing good. Just had my coffee and my breakfast. I was watching a little bit of the Titans and Bears game before I came inside of here. But yeah, I'm doing good,
That's good. That's good. We watched some of the game last night together too. So you watched the rest of it.
Yeah, I watched the whole game of the Bears. I meant the Broncos and the Cardinals. We'll get into that. Nikki, how are you? Going to the game today?
Is this she's recorded with us since everything?
Don't, Frank, slow down.
Is it? It is, right? It's the first time, right? Oh my!
I am.
America. Nah, you gotta let us do this, girl. You gotta let us do this. Let us do this.
Yeah, Frank, go ahead and take it away.
Yep. Frank, we celebrate everything. We celebrate June's retirement.
Hold on. Drum roll.
Yeah. I wish I had the drum roll here. But anyways, we are so proud of our friend and co-host and family, because we are family now. In the military, we have certain levels of things that we want to get to. In the Navy, the attainment of being a chief petty officer is one of the best things you can do as an enlisted person in the Navy. The Navy is the only branch of service where when you go from E6 to E7 above, we change uniforms. It is the only branch of service that has, if you want to call it an initiation process, but we call it the season now, to help train and groom these new selected chiefs from E7s to chiefs. And they have to be accepted by the chief's mess in order to be called a chief. And it's 7% of people that get selected, 7 to this pay grade. And we want to congratulate Nikki on her selection to the Chiefs mess. Thank you.
Let's go. Chief, you got any words, Chief?
You can't hear me?
Oh, no, we can hear you now.
Tell them you.
You're
Can
breaking
y'all
up.
hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit.
Hold on. Okay, can you hear me now?
We
Yes.
can hear you,
Mhm.
Chief.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me now?
Navy Chief.
You work for Verizon?
No, be right back. Can you hear me for real?
Yeah.
Why can't y'all hear me?
We
If
can't.
you was on mute.
You can, but you're cutting in and out.
Okay, then y'all gotta wait so I can say what I want to say. I'll leave you. Y'all have to give me a minute.
Let me tell you how let me tell you how new Chief was gonna make Chief. When the ringback tone went away, that was it. That was the cue right there. When that ringback tone stopped ringbacking, I was like, okay, you know what? She gonna make Chief this year. Bro, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
No, I thought everybody froze. Frank ain't there, so I didn't know who was
No,
moving.
yeah, Frank got up. We'll start with the first topic until Frank gets back. Oh, they're Frank. So we'll start with the first topic, and it's preseason week 1, part 1. So we have some games going on right now and later on today. So we'll cover the rest of the half next week. So I'll read off some of the scores. So starting with what day was that? Thursday. The Texans defeated the Patriots 20-9. The Seahawks defeated the Vikings 24-3. And yesterday, the Steelers defeated the Buccaneers 27-17. Packers defeated the Bengals 36-19. Falcons defeated the Dolphins 19-3. Lions defeated the Giants 21-16. The Commanders defeated the Browns 17-15. Cardinals defeated the Broncos 18-17. And as of right now, the Bills are defeating the Colts 17-3 with 4 minutes left of the third quarter. And the Titans and Bears are tied 17-17 with 7 minutes left of the third quarter. So what game do you want to talk about first?
I'll cover
Let's
my.
talk about the Texans and the Patriots game.
Yeah. So
Might as well. That was the first game of the preseason.
Yep, it was. I watched. I think I want to say the first quarter. I'm not sure. The
Mhm.
defense was looking good. They got number 99 on the Patriots was doing good. He was applying pressure. Mills intercepted. Was CJ Stroud?
CJ Stroud.
Yeah, intercepted him, and they held them to 3 points. You know, they had them to zip. They were they were doing a shutout up until I think after the half or right before the half. The Texans went down. I think Mills, the quarterback, throws a pass, man, like a dart to a guy in the end zone. It's kind of sideline end zone. He catches it in it. They scored a touchdown going in 7-3. Next thing you know is what, 20-9. And my concern, and it's just preseason. It's just preseason. So we're not gonna sit here and say, oh my God, these teams are looking amazing. But like I was telling Bree in a previous conversation, is that for me, what I'm starting to look at for preseason is your second strings, because that's really who's playing. How are those second strings operating? And now if your starters go down, can these people step up? And the Texans, they were looking good. They were looking like they were just playing ball out there.
They made adjustments really quickly. So in the first quarter, Nick Foles scored a 44-yard field goal. In the second quarter, Tank Dell 6-yard pass from David Mills. And the kick was good. Third quarter, Dalton King 1-yard run. And then the fourth quarter, Alex Bachman 5-yard pass from Case Keenum. And then Malik Cunning's 9-yard run to touchdown 2-point conversion had failed.
So, it was all right, though. Mac Jones didn't play. Zappy was out there. I think he played the whole game.
I don't think he played the whole game. No, he didn't play the whole game, Frank.
He played
So you have Bailey Zappi that played majority some of the game. He went 12 for 14 for 79 yards. He averaged 5.6 yards. He was sacked 2 times, and his rating was a 90.2. Then you have Malik Cunningham, and he went 3 for 4 for 13 yards, 4.8 average yards, 84.4 rating. And then you had Trace McSorley. He went 1 for 3 for 4 yards and a 42.4.
So that's
So
not
you-
bad. I mean,
Yeah.
listen, again, I'm not like for my team, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh my God. But if your second strings can't keep up, then you're gonna have problems. You know what I mean? If you can't see, a lot of these teams have had success here recently, especially on defense. They can swap out players and bring in fresh legs and fresh people. You really can't do that in the offensive line because that takes chemistry. You need to have chemistry to protect the quarterback. But look who you're facing, and just not to go too off topic on it, but when we look at these quarterbacks like Burrow, Herbo, Lamar, Patrick Mahomes, who else am I missing? That Jalen Hurts. Anybody that's that can move in the pocket, move out the pocket, and kill you with their legs at any given time. You need to have that freshness in there. And if you can't swap people in and out, it's just going to be horrible. Oh, Josh Allen, it's going to be horrible. So we'll see. But I didn't see a lot of the game. I heard a lot of it. I heard some of it through the radio when I was driving back from Bob Beach. But
Yeah. The next game we could talk about is the Pittsburgh Steelers at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That was the game me and Drew were watching while you were watching the Packers and Bengals game. So that was a very exciting game to watch. First quarter, George Pickens, 33-yard touchdown pass from Kenny Pickett. In the second quarter, Trey Palmer, 8-yard touchdown pass from Baker Mayfield. Also in the second quarter, Anthony McFarland, a 14-yard run touchdown. And then Potter, a 30-yard field goal for the Steelers. So 17-7 by halftime. In the third quarter, another 43-yard field goal from Potter, 20-7. And then also in the third quarter, Calvin Austin, 60-yard touchdown pass from Mason Rudolph. So it made the game 27-7. And in the fourth quarter, Blankenship on the Buccaneers scored a 35-yard field goal. And then a 3-yard pass, Payne during a 3-yard pass from John Wolford. And the game ended 27-17. That was a good game to watch. In words of June, Baker Mayfield looked better than Ben Roethlisberger. That's what he said that last. He says that every time Baker Mayfield throws not Baker Mayfield. He said Mason Rudolph. My apologies. Mason Rudolph. They didn't play Baker Mayfield a lot. They think they only played him up until the middle of the second quarter. And then they end up playing, what's his name? I was saying his name all day yesterday. Who's the backup for the Bucks again?
Trask.
Yeah, Trask.
Yeah.
No, the Steelers look good. The secondary defense looked really, really good. The first half of the first quarter, we played our starters on offense. We didn't play any defense starters.
Okay.
But yeah, we held up all the way up until we put our third string in. And then we also put in our rookie quarterback from the practice squad, Morgan, in the game. I like what I saw. I like the decision making that I saw from Matt Canada calling the plays for the preseason. So I have a good feeling about the people that we have for our secondary and our third string.
That's good. That's good.
I felt bad. I felt bad for the Buccaneers head coach all day yesterday. He just looked sad. Like it was just like nothing was clicking or working for them at all. Like at all.
I mean, look, so like Nikki said last year, the writing was on the wall, right? And you either adjust or you don't adjust. And I'm not saying that Baker can't be an efficient quarterback. They have a defense, but they already have some not turmoil, but some kind of issues, right? Because you got a White that wants a new contract. He wants more money. He feels he deserves more money. That starts bringing that disconnect in the part of the defense in your heart. One of the players that's a heart of your defense. You know what I'm saying? Because it's White, Levante David, Shaq Barrett. Those are your big things. And then you have Sue left. So you have Vita Vea. You got all these other people, but those are the big names up front, and those are the ones that get the pressure that make your secondary look great when they're really not that good, So it's like you got what? Godwin, you have Evans.
Didn't play any of those people at all. So I hope Baker Mayfield does click with them because he wasn't.
No, and again, it's also with preseason we got to be a little careful, right? Because if I'm starting my starter as a quarterback and you're starting your second strings, he should, if he's let's say Baker, anybody that has been in the league at least as long as Baker has been in the league, should be able to pick apart your second strings or rookies. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't put a lot of stock in it. I go more to how that second strings are playing, and you want to be able to switch people out. So I feel bad for Bowles, but at the same time, bro, it is what it is, fam. It is what it is.
June, I have a question. So
Yes, ma'am.
You guys play the Baltimore Ravens today. It's been all over social media that the Baltimore Ravens has the highest streak of preseason wins. The last preseason loss was in 2015. Do you think you guys will be able to break that streak today? I think they have a total of 28 preseason wins without a loss since 2015.
I'm a humble man. And I have my humble conversations all the time with Frank, right? I think I'm pretty straightforward. And I mean, yeah, I'm gonna have to say the streak ends today. The streak ends today. Unfortunately, Ravens fans, it's not that I don't think you can continue it, but everything must come to an end. And I mean, shoot.
Frank has the Bengals beating the Eagles today. I meant the Ravens beating the Eagles today.
I'm about to say he better not have the Bengals because he's gonna lose. But yeah,
I'll tell you why when you go ahead. I'll tell you why.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you.
Marcus Mariota.
I mean, we're gonna have our guy. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'll tell you who's not gonna be playing. Lamar Jackson, OBJ, Mark Andrews, and I think that's all the players that they have in Baltimore. That's it, right? I think they're down many players. However, I don't know. I think I don't know. It's a preseason game. I don't really go too crazy, but to answer your question, I think yes. We'll put that W down. Tired?
Right. Go ahead, Frank. Yeah, I'm still waking up a little bit.
No. So I picked the Ravens because I felt the Eagles are not going to play their starters. I wouldn't. Not when you are the favorite team in the NFC to go to the Super Bowl again. At the end of the day, when we put the rankings on NFC teams, Eagles should be number one, right? And maybe after that you might have Lions or Vikings, but when we look at maybe most well-rounded team coming back together and doing good, Eagles should be the favorite out of the NFC. That's what we're looking at, right? Especially if Jalen Hurts continues to improve as a player, as a quarterback, and becomes more well-rounded and stuff. So I picked the Ravens because I thought maybe if you guys go second string and the Ravens, might play their starters, who knows? They might not. But it's preseason, like you said, so I don't expect much. You know what I'm saying? I really don't expect you guys to go out there and balls to the wall and try to do everything in one game of preseason. So that's why I picked them.
Yeah, but we'll see. I don't think that any.
Oh,
I don't know. I asked this question when we're done talking about the other games, the other teams.
That's really much it. I didn't. Oh, no. We got to talk about the Broncos and the Cardinals game. So I watched that whole game last night. It was such a hot mess. It was a catastrophe. The Cardinals did pull out the win and scored a 2-point conversion to win the game. right at the last second of the game. The game was a hot mess. The defenses looked pretty decent, but to me, the only reason why the defenses looked pretty decent was able to stop the offenses is because the offenses on both teams looked like hot garbage. They looked really, really, really bad. I don't know. Is Sean Payton going to be able to, turn Russell Wilson around like he said he was? And they had the worst coaches ever last year. Now they have a team that's going to make the Broncos win. It didn't look like it like yesterday, in my opinion. The Cardinals, they also looked a hot mess, and I understand, they didn't play their starters. They didn't play Kyler Murray, Z, but you have a veteran backup McCoy couldn't do anything. Colt McCoy couldn't do a thing, and Colt McCoy knows how to win games. He's been on plenty of teams where he's won, snuck the teams into the playoffs, and continued to win. So I don't know if it's the offensive coaching and the calling. I'm pretty sure the Cardinals, they have the Eagles' old offensive coordinator from last year, right, June?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
June. Oh, he's yelling at the dogs.
Yeah.
Peter! Did he just kiss? Did you just kick the dog?
No, he ain't kicked the dog.
Oh, that's why I screamed Peter.
He's locking the door. No, I think he did go over there. I think the OC
the OC went over to was it your defensive coordinator or your offensive coordinator, June, from last season that went to the Cardinals? It was the offensive coordinator, right?
No, the DC went to hold on. What you said?
Who your offensive coordinator last year or your defensive coordinator? Who went to the Cardinals? One of them did.
That damn the one who lost us the Super Bowl. The
but
defensive coordinator.
Was it the defense?
Is it DC? Yeah, the DC
so that went over to the Cardinals. Okay.
The Super Bowl, the Super Bowl
okay.
guy.
I did. Okay. The defense was all right looking. The defense Arizona second string was all right looking. They need a little bit more work to do, but they were able to make Russell Wilson look like he had no clue what was going
on. So it's just week 1 preseason.
I know, but you're a Super Bowl championship quarterback.
Yeah. So I
think the way you were playing did not look like you've ever played in a Super Bowl before.
I saw some drives and I wasn't impressed, right? I felt like, whoa. So here's the deal, right? When it comes to Russell, we've seen Russell do a lot over the years. And I find it very hard to believe that at his age, because he's technically still young, that his arm is done and he's over the hump. I find that hard to believe. But I do think that it's not. Do I think Sean Payton's a good offensive mind? Yes, he is, and he's been a good coach. Look what he did in the Saints. But everything takes time, and he's not getting Russell as a rookie. He's getting Russell, like you said. He's been in 2 Super Bowls, won 1. Hell, he was a pass away from possibly winning 2 back-to-back. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people criticize saying that maybe it was Pete Carroll who kept him in check and kept him in line and didn't let him, get crazy. So let's see what happens. I mean, I don't know. I see what you're saying, but I'm gonna give him time. I'm gonna give him to like week 4. And if by week 4 you're still looking like hot garbage, Russ, just go be a stay-at-home dad and take care of Sierra's kids while she go make money.
Can you post or make it to where everybody could?
Yeah, my bad.
So I can't play the video, but I have a screenshot. So the Cardinals end up deleting this tweet, and after the game, the Cardinals tweeted this. It's a video, but the video I can't play it because it's been deleted. But they put "Safe Travels Broncos," and it was a video of people on the plane, and they did like a voiceover, and it was like, wait, where's my teammates at? And they're like, oh, well, you're fired, like you don't play for them anymore. But this has since been deleted. They were trolling Wilson. So
let me ask you a question, right? Or you or June, anybody can answer it. Do you think that the ownership is going to allow multiple seasons of whackness, being that they didn't bring him in, they didn't trade for him. These are the new owners, and they want to win. So you think they give him this season, and they rather cut bait and take the hit with the money they paid him, or he gets at least another season under his belt if this season doesn't go accordingly?
If this season doesn't go accordingly, in my opinion, they're gonna trade him.
Okay. But who's going to take him? June. What you think?
For Baker?
No, not Baker. Russell.
If this season doesn't go accordingly.
You know, Russell had a couple of decent passes, and you know what sucked about last year was that a lot of his I'm gonna punch these dogs in the face. If you're listening to that, I don't hit
Peter.
I don't hit dogs. I'm just saying. However, I just say that out of frustration. I don't hit dogs. I just want to punch them in their face sometimes if they were human beings. But they're not human beings, so I'm not gonna touch them. He had a couple of he showed some good spurts of like, dang, Russell got it. He's starting to come back. But then he'll do some weird things. But last year, a lot of the not a lot, some of the issues that was going on was his receivers were dropping passes, they weren't running routes, so they weren't helping him. And he was just taking all the blame. So like when Judy dropped that pass, last night, I was like, this is a continuance of last year, making Russell look bad. So if there's another team to pick him up, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
You said, he went to the Super Bowl twice. I think he's still a good quarterback. He had a very bad season last year. This is the year for him to come and bounce right back. If not, he's just going to be another Carson Wentz, jumping from team to team until he just doesn't play no more, wearing every other team's jerseys and helmets and shorts.
So I have a question. So we talked about it, I want to say 2 weeks ago. We talked about it about 2 weeks ago. Sean Payton said that last season, the Broncos had the worst coaching in the history of the NFL. Now with Nathaniel Hackett over in the Jets, and they have a whole new system, but they're still playing the same. Do you think it was the coaching, or do you think it's the players?
So with that, I would say a little bit of both, right? And this is why I'm gonna say this: not every assistant is gonna be a head coach. Okay, some people are gonna be great assistants, or DCs, OCs, whatever, and they could just they'll never be the head coach. And this is actually something we can transition to if you have it in notes about Eric Bieniemy and what was said in Washington. But anyways,
You can bring it up because I didn't see anything. So
okay,
you can.
so we'll talk about this, right? So after this, I think it was the players for the most part, right? But I also think it was coaching. And the reason I'm gonna say coaching plays a part is because you got to fix the problem. Okay, you got to fix the problem. If not, it's gonna continue. So Nikki and I were talking about, and I'm gonna tie it in, and we're gonna transition to it after when we all speak our piece on it. The Bieniemy thing. You can't talk to players like you used to talk to players back in the day. Not today, right? Things are different today. However, you can find a player, you can do certain things. I feel what happened last year is when they brought Russell, they gave Russell the keys to the entire organization and said, here you go. He had his own room, he had this, he had that. And now he wasn't just a regular player, And now you got these guys coming in here expecting you to throw for 4,000 yards, do what Russ did in Seattle, because he had some good years, and you're not even providing that. You can't even. We're losing games that we should be winning. If they could have maybe got a first down here and there, they could have had a better record. I think the one first game he went for, instead of letting Russell try to get the first down, he decided to go for a field goal and lose the game. Well, that one single action you did there, you made it seem like, hey, guess what? I don't trust you to get the first down, and you disregarded everything he's done since he's been in the league. So I'm gonna say it's a little bit of both. Now, this year, Sean Payton's already been changing certain things. He's been treating Russ hard. He's been giving. He stuck up for us when he made that comment. He did. He made it seem like it's not on the players. And one thing he's gonna let Russ do is start from scratch, right? But if like I said, let's say week 8, you're not performing, he's not the one to blame, because now there's been 2 head coaches. This is a head coach with a reputation, has a Super Bowl ring under his belt, and had winning seasons in New Orleans with Drew Brees. So I think it's a little bit of both. But like June said, when you got receivers dropping passes, is that on the quarterback? Did he put on the numbers and they still dropped it? We all say it as a receiver. If you put hands on it, you got to catch it. So, is it really him? But looking back at his numbers, Russ had 1, 2, 3, 4 seasons that he threw for over 4,000 yards. Everything else has been 3,000, between 3,100 to 3,900. One year he threw for 34 touchdowns, or twice actually, 34 touchdowns. One year he threw 40 touchdowns. So I mean,
No.
he's had what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 winning seasons. No, actually, 9 winning seasons out of 11 years in the league. 9 winning seasons. That's not bad. So I don't know. I'm not saying that Russ is done. I would hate to say that. I don't think he is. I just think that he might need to learn how to be more coachable and be humble a little bit and stop thinking I won a Super Bowl and I've been to 2 and I was one of the main faces in NFC when I played there, and look at it like, you know what? I'm in a new place, new system. Let me reinvent myself so we could be successful, so I can cook instead of just boiling water. So, June, she asked if it's either the coaching or and to go back to your point, Bree, he went to the Jets, and guess who he's with? His quarterback that won 2 MVPs under him. So the chemistry's there. So of course, I mean, I would expect it to work. They already know each other, So
June, my question was about 2 or 3 episodes ago when we discussed Sean Payton saying in the conference that the Broncos were under the worst coaching in the history of the NFL last season. And watching them yesterday and seeing that they're still struggling and look like the same team they were with Russell Wilson under center, and they're all their starters in. Was it the coaching, or do you think it's the players? Frank said a little bit of both, because they got the coaching system this year.
I think it's like way, way, way too early to really answer that question. That was just their first game trying to build some type of chemistry against another competitive team. And it was just preseason. I don't know. I think it's way too early to answer that question. Now, if by the 3rd or 4th preseason they still look like crap or they can't get it together, then I think all the fingers has to point at the somewhere outside of the coaching. And I mean, if the old coach is doing well wherever he's at, then obviously that's also gonna define where the issues were coming from. Now, I don't really see Russell being that guy in the news where he's not a humble guy. He's never been out there as that guy. The only stuff that he said was that he would never play for the Eagles, and ever since that point forward, I was just like, the dude's, he needs to get a urinalysis. But aside from that, yeah, I don't know. I'll let you guys know in a couple of weeks of what I think.
Cut his mic.
I think he's in good hands. He's in good hands.
We need to start recording on Skype. Because on Skype you can mute whoever you want, and we be muting Ben like crazy when we record our other
I
podcasts.
can hear. I find it funny.
No, but like anybody
What?
can mute anybody. Anybody can mute anybody. So if I
What
have
did
the
I
option-
say that was so wrong?
Okay.
What did I say that was so wrong?
So we're moving on to the next topic,
I'm
right?
just saying.
So,
Don't be mad.
um,
It's real stuff.
so
You want to talk about the Eric Bieniemy stuff, or we going to go?
we could brief the Eric the enemy. I don't know anything about that. I didn't listen or pay attention to that.
So what happened was Juan Rivera at a press conference, when asked about something, he brought up that the players have been complaining to him about Eric Bieniemy's how he's talking, like they don't like the way that he's talking to them. And it brought up so I on Get Up, it struck a chord, right? Because they were like, oh, he should never throw him under the bus. This is a guy that should have been a head coach in the league, for many years now. He's never got an opportunity, and he should have just never said nothing. On Speak and other shows, the approach was more like maybe this is why he doesn't get the head coaching job, because teams see how he is, and or maybe when they go to your references or they talk to other players, and other players say, nah, how he talks to us is not professional. He has an old school mentality. And Shady McCoy on Speak and on The Herd, he said that Bieniemy never called plays. He was not the one calling the plays. He's taught to him Grimy, and other players too. So, do you guys think that now Juan Rivera came back and apologized and said, I put my foot in my mouth. We're good over here, blah, 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 blah. Do you guys think that the way he treats the players is what's stopping him from getting a contract or a head coaching job? And do you feel, so it's a two-part question. Do you feel that way of coaching is outdated and no longer works? And if that, and is that what's stopping him from being a head coach?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I just think, because if he's coming from a environment where they're winning, then obviously what he's doing is working. Now, if he's coming from a place where it's toxic and there's a lot more negatives and positives, then that will be an issue, in my opinion. But I really don't know what's stopping that dude from getting that head coach position. I really don't know, man. Maybe it's himself for signing that contract as an OC.
But it could also be a little bit of both, because even though you have that toxic mentality, as a coach, people aren't going to want to hire you when you put their players through that, regardless if you're winning games and stuff. Yes, at the end of the day, but these are grown men too, So yeah. I know coaches, they got to be tough and strict and stuff, but you don't have to be toxic at the same time.
They say he would get at them for routine mistakes, like little mistakes.
Routine plays happen routinely, yes, right, Drew?
What you think?
All right.
Lawsuit.
Navy Pride. Let's go.
I kept saying that the other time, but with Ava, because Ava would have did it. Because I don't know what the fuck June just did. June didn't do it. But you remember we already talked about June being sometime. You know what I'm saying?
I already told you ain't got no pride. You stop saying it.
Okay, so it was so much y'all was talking about. I had bad service where I was. But anyway, let's talk about what you're talking about now. I think it's a little bit of both, right? I do think with time, you have to progress and move forward, right? Like we talked about when we talked about this, Frank, Tom Coughlin, that's one of the reasons why he ended up leaving the Jaguars. Because they like, bro, the techniques that he used when he was with the Giants, he wanted to use with the Jags, of today. And just like we say, kids, they feel like they're privileged. You old, and say that about grown men, it is. You get what I'm saying? Often has always been a rah-rah is sport. With rah-rah, I mean, on the field, you talking shit to each other, and it pumps you up. So what's the difference when your coach is talking to you rough, I put that in quotation, than when your opponent is? You get what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I talk to you, get in your head, so does the coach. I talk to you, it makes you want to do better, so does the coach. You know what I'm saying? I just think that people sometimes get overly sensitive because they want to push. I'm a man and I'm grown. Don't get me wrong. They are men. They are grown. But it is what it is. When you're working at a nursery, they talk them kids things. That's their job. You get what I'm saying? So you're working in a sport that is aggressive not only physically, mentally, and people talk aggressively. So to try to pick and choose the point where somebody can, I think it's more entitled or I don't know. I think it should be a little scope. I don't think you should degrade the little, and that's different. You know what I'm saying? But we're talking and routinely mistakes. You keep making the same mistakes. I'm human too. I'm going to get frustrated. It is what it is. Your performance dictates the success of my job. Of course, I'm gonna take that little serious. Of course, I might come off a little bit aggressive, but I think it should be a balance. I digress.
Well, I think, I'm glad you said that. And it's something June said. He's coming on winning 2 Super Bowls. He's been a 3 as the OC, right? Now, if people want to say he doesn't call the plays Andy Reid does, then he shouldn't be the OC. He shouldn't be the because it's a false title then, right? However, he gets the credit. Andy Reid has given him credit. So I feel, listen, Washington, y'all ain't won a Super Bowl since the 90s. All right? Since the 90s. I think y'all won a Super Bowl before the Cowboys won their last Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So let's cut it out. Take your feelings out of it and go into it. Like a lot of people want, like you said, oversensitive. Oh, he's yelling at me. And it's something LaShawn McCoy said. It's not the rookies going to talk to the head coach. That's got to be the pros that's been playing, because ain't no rookie going to go talk to the head coach and complain. When they rookies, they scared to get cut. You know what I'm saying? Like, I go complain. Now I'm on the
tolerate anything to stay on the team.
Exactly. So it's so, and again, to me, one thing that Juan Rivera said, or John Rivera said, what's his name? Juan or John? I keep saying Juan. Anyways, Coach Rivera said was
it's John Rivera.
John, yeah. John Rivera said, I told him to take it up with him. Like you said, y'all men. So, hey, coach, I don't like the way you talking to us. Because if it's me, I'm like, well, then play the play right, and you won't get talked to that way.
For real.
Absolutely.
Like, you right. When Coughlin got to the Giants, and he did this. Tiki Barber had an issue. Jeremy Shockey had issues because he was fining them. If they didn't come on time to the team meetings, fine. If you didn't come dressed a certain way, fine. If you showed up late to practices and walkthroughs, you're not playing. And he had no problem sitting you down and letting you know, I don't care if you're the number 1 running back in our team. You show up late, you don't play. Straight up. And guess what?
Standard.
Yep, the standard is standard, right? So, but they won 2 Super Bowls.
That's what happened? Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Those 2 Super Bowls was going to take Eli Manning into the Hall of Fame. Again, I just feel like, I don't know, man. I'm not trying to project because of what we do for a living into this conversation. It's a rough sport. It is a contact sport. And when you make the little mistakes, those little mistakes lead to big mistakes. Like today, watching the game, the Bear returner let it bounce, and he went to try to catch instead of letting it go. Once he tried to catch it, the play hit him. Bow. Fumbled. They recovered. Those are small mistakes. So, but that's it. Go ahead, Bree.
So, former Raiders wide receiver Henry Ruggs has been sentenced 3 to 10 years in prison for the November 2021 drunken driving car crash that killed a Las Vegas woman and her dog.
Bree, Joe said, how many years?
3 to 10. 3 to 10. They don't have there's just 3 to 10. That's all that's out right now. So, yeah, he has finally been sentenced to 3 to 10 years. How many years he's gonna do, I don't know. But he could be eligible for parole after 3 years.
And he'll still be young. He's still young.
He'll be 27 because he's 24 right now.
And he's gonna stay in
Really?
To do what? Okay, he still be young to do what?
to come back.
I'm confused.
That was gonna be my question right there.
What?
Yeah.
Chief, you're reading my mind, Chief.
To play in the XFL.
He can play XFL. He can play NFL.
USFL, Canadian football.
The Canadian League,
Yep.
the CFL.
Somebody will take him. Listen, talent is talent. He made a mistake. He's young. We've had this conversation. We taking people that are broke. They get drafted, especially in the first round, and they get all this money. Overnight, they go from broke to millionaires. They go from nobody to somebody. And then you go to the Raiders. There's some cities that instantly, you know what I'm saying, change you in a sense. You got the Raiders in Vegas, any team in LA, California, that's different. New York, Philly, Florida, Miami. Think about it. You get a young kid from, one of them backwoods, or even from upstate New York that's never seen nothing, and now he's in Miami, Florida, first round pick as a Dolphin, getting into any club he want to get into, spending as much money as he want, doing dumb stuff, dumb decisions. So I hope he gets the 3 years. If he can't, he has to live with. It don't matter if he did the full 10.
Yeah,
This is the person. So,
Yeah. We were talking about it a little bit at the command picnic yesterday. And one of my coworkers brought it up that back in 2021, it was a male, regular civilian, 39-year-old, was drunk driving, speed racing, and crashed into a mother and her daughter that were walking. And he walked away free. Didn't get sentenced or anything. And it's just like, it's weird that there's no system in play. Yeah, he was a civilian, but if you're drunk driving, you kill somebody, everybody should get, the same sentencing. And I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it should be some type some form of justice.
I think he's gonna do the 3 years and then get parole after.
Yeah. In our country, consistency when it comes to punishment hasn't been a thing. It probably never will be a thing to be consistently on the right page. Right? But yeah, some people don't go to jail. Some people get probation and that's it. But he got screwed over. I'm not saying he got screwed over. He's paying the price for what he did. So.
All right, next we have Odell Beckham Jr. versus Tyler Boyd on Twitter.
What they going back and forth?
Odell Beckham Jr. said, people have no idea what I was actually going to do that day, talking about the Super Bowl victory on the Rams. It was going to be the day where I catch 15 balls, maybe 250 yards, and we would have beat them 42-17.
Excuse me.
Tyler Boyd then replied back to him and said, woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Hey.
So then Odell Beckham replies back to him and says, I feel that for real, but I do have a ring that you coulda, shoulda, woulda had.
Man.
Because that's what I was about to do. If I was Odell, my response on Twitter would be like this.
That's what he said.
You know what I'm saying?
I felt that for real, but I do have a ring that you coulda, woulda, shoulda had.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Oh,
The girlies are
oh,
fighting. I love it.
June. I'll be like this. Look.
Yeah, man.
That was a top rope.
You're right.
Top rope comeback. Boy should have said nothing else. He should have said that the page was hacked.
Oh my gosh. Tyler Boy didn't respond after that. There's nothing you can say.
What do you say? That was stupid. That was stupid. You lost, my man. You lost. And the truth was, he was carving y'all up. Y'all didn't have an answer for him. Y'all were too busy stopping Cooper Kupp that you didn't have an answer for Odell. And he's right. Maybe if he wouldn't have been down, it could have been different. When he went down, Cooper Kupp had to step up, but you know.
And it took Cooper Kupp a while to step up, to be honest. It took him a while. But
and they still won. And they still won.
They should have, but they
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Aaron Donald was like the whole time.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. But I do have that ring you coulda, shoulda, woulda had.
Oh yeah, that was. Listen, when he said that, my mouth.
Love it. I love it. Next, we have Richard Sherman has reached an agreement to become part of Undisputed after Shannon Sharp's departure. Sherman will debate Skip Bayless around 50 to 100 times per year, primarily during football season. So my theory is Richard Sherman will probably only do football, and they'll probably find somebody to bring in for basketball.
It's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Richard Sherman's very smart.
Those debates are going to be fire because they had beef a while ago.
He's very smart. He has football IQ. He's a very smart person. He knows how to articulate himself. If you ever heard him talk, he doesn't talk like some of these players do. You know what I'm saying? He's actually a scholar. You say he sounds like a scholar, like Emmanuel Acho. When you hear him, you hear that he's educated. I'm looking forward to it. You know, Richard Sherman doesn't have 3 rings like Shannon Sharp does, and he's not a Hall of Famer yet, but he does have a ring. He was part of one of the best defenses that we've seen in our time here recently, and I'm looking forward to it. And he's not going to kiss Skip Bayless' ass either. That's what I like about it. You know what I mean? So that's my.
I agree.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be dope. I mean, like I said, the only thing I think about Sherman when it comes to being on the spotlight is him banging the hell out of that damn door. But aside from that, I mean, it's water under the bridge. I guess I'm still the only one that remembers that. But I mean, he really he hit that door pretty hard. I mean, that door was legit, like one of the toughest doors I've seen.
Yeah.
If it would have been in a regular neighborhood, that door just fell apart.
You know, and we all have situations, June. We all make decisions at times. You know?
I thought he was a lot stronger than that, you know, in my opinion. I wasn't even worried about that. But I thought he was a lot stronger. That's when I knew he had to stop playing.
Nikki? Oh, she's frozen. Did you have something to add to? Did you want to add on?
No.
Okay. Next. Okay. So free agent Kareem Hunt had what was called a great visit with the Saints and was now on his way to Indianapolis Colts to meet this past Wednesday. So Kareem Hunt was called by Indy before even stepping foot onto the field to work out with the Saints and was offered more money. He was advised to leave and head to Indy with the Colts for a visit. So he left the Saints earlier than expected to go visit the Colts because they offered him more money. Well, update as of yesterday, free agent Kareem Hunt was leaving the Indianapolis Colts without a deal. Colts made the offer, but the two sides were unable to reach an agreement, and there is still continued interest from other teams.
I think he's a hot commodity right now. I mean, who wouldn't want Kareem Hunt in their squad? I mean, he's a strong young back that played his role humbly in Cleveland behind Chubb and still performed. So I think he's a hot commodity, and I know that the running backs aren't as hot commodity as you know, what's his name, Saquon and a few others would say. But I don't know. I think if he goes to New Orleans, it would definitely change measures on their future success.
No, yeah, I agree. And then also remember, Jonathan Taylor's having the debate right now with the Colts. And then after they said, we're not trading you, you're staying, his back magically started hurting. And then on Thursday, he walked out of practice saying that his ankle was bothering him again. So I feel like he is going to use injuries to sit out because he wants to be traded.
So like you said, who wouldn't want him on the team? Talking about payment, I would pay him because he's one of the backs that can catch the ball at the backfield and run the ball. He's going to give you the diversity you need. You know what I'm saying? We've seen him alongside Tyreek Hill and what they did in Kansas City. And if it wasn't for that one incident in Vegas where he kicked the girl, he probably wouldn't be on the team. You know what I'm saying? So I would love him on my team. Shit, he's actually better than James White was. And I love James White as a running back for us because he gave you that option to check down. He can get you to a couple of yards, get you the first down. He can do that for you. And any team that's smart, I would pay him the money and bring him in. Because like you said, humbly, he sat behind Nick Chubb and he played his role. He's not that beat up.
He was good in Kansas City.
Yeah, he was. He was good. So I would have went to the Saints. Me personally, I would have went to the Saints.
Especially with Alvin Kamara sitting at 3.
You're gonna be AK comes back, and not you, Nikki, the other AK comes back, and now you got a dual back threat, and they can catch. They both can catch and they both fast. So, you know, I don't know. I would have went to the Saints, but that's just me.
I agree. And then Teddy Bridgewater got picked up by the Lions.
But really quick before we move on to Teddy, it's my dude. I mean, does Taylor's character get questioned? I mean, I would 100% question it. I wouldn't want somebody like that. But why would you? If you're another team, right? This is where I'm going really quick. If you're another team, and now because you're not getting your way, your back hurts or your ankle hurts, why would I want that type of character in my team? So now when I want you to do something and you don't get your way, your hand hurts or your wrist hurts or your neck hurts. So you can get your way. That's what I'm asking.
No, I agree because right after the season ended, he was healthy, perfectly fine. Then the entire running back debacle happened. And then all those running backs on that Zoom call, you know, talking about money and stuff. And then now he wants a pay raise, you know, after seeing these people getting paid now. And they're like, no, we're not upping your contract. You were out all last season, you know, like it was your second year playing with us and you were out. Like what? You had a good first season with us, but your second season, it was nothing, you know, you ain't play. Like prove it to us and then we pay you the money. Oh, now I want to trade. No, you ain't going nowhere. Oh, my back hurts. Now my ankle hurts, you know?
So
it doesn't make sense to me.
To me, to answer your question, should we question? Yeah, you should question his character. Again, this is a business where people get paid to play a game and they sign a contract. A lot of times we compare our situation. You said what?
Go ahead.
Oh, a lot of times we compare it to us, right? We sign a contract, we re-enlist or we stay in, and then people just can't back out. And we hate it when people try to back out of their contract and do things to get kicked out. I feel that you can question his character. At the same time, look at the owner of the Colts, though. Look at what he said. This dude he has like diarrhea in the mouth. You put a mic in front of him, he says whatever he comes to his mind. Like, oh, we both died in a car accident, nobody would miss us, or nobody would miss him. You know, it's like you say that, and then you want this person to stay on your team. I wouldn't want to play for you either. I wouldn't want to play for you. Look how you talk. Look how you act. That's unprofessional. So the same way we can question his character or look at him and say, oh, well, as an athlete and a person that signed a contract, you hear faking, or now all of a sudden, well, we don't know. now your ankle hurts, your back hurts. Oh, now you're not in 100%, you can't play. Well, look at the owner. Why would I want to come play for you when you're saying stuff that would make me feel like I'm only a number and a position and not a person? So, but yeah, I would probably question him. If I was another team, I would have a conversation with him, But going back, if I'm Robert Kraft and I look at Jim Irsay, I'm like, well, shit, that's Jim. Look, he's a drunk. He popped pills. He done got caught with drugs in his car. Then I'm not gonna judge him. I'm not judging the player off the owner. I'm gonna judge him for what I see. You know what I'm saying? But Nikki, you put your hand up.
Yeah, because there's a lot going on, right? It's a lot going on. And what I mean by that is, I just agree with you. Nobody goes hard for somebody that makes them feel like they're nothing. You get what I'm saying? It got to be a little. What is it? What is in it for me? Right? Hey, you got my back. I got yours. You know what I'm saying? Now let's not sit here and say that some of these players aren't 100%. They're not. But they'll still go out there and play. Like Tua, we know Tua had that damn. He was concussed. But his ass wanted to go out there and play. Now I do agree. You don't get what you want. Oh, woe is me. My back is hurt. But you know what? People would do things that they know other people have been successful from. How many other players then said that bullshit and the team let them go? So it's a little bit about a lot. You know what I'm saying? Jalen did it, right? It's a little bit about a lot. It's a little bit of a lot. But the one thing I 100% say is, if somebody's telling you if something happened to you and nobody would care, then that's not somebody I would want to even sit down, conversate, eat with, or anything. Yeah, fuck yeah, I'm hurt. Can't do nothing. Can't even pick up paper. Got a real deep paper cut. I say it too. Let the man go. Let my people go. I'm sorry.
What's crazy is you never heard anything about Jonathan Taylor up until now. He's been a stellar player. He's been that player that you want on your team that doesn't create any headaches or nothing for you. So now all of a sudden, because he wants more money, he's a problem. That goes back to that whole mentality of I own you and, I'm not paying you more than what you pay. Like Zach Martin wants a new contract. And one thing I agree with Jerry Jones is this. You signed a contract a few years ago, and I made you the highest paid offensive lineman in the league. You're not going to come back 2 years after the fact or a year after the fact, and I just paid you, and I made you one of the highest paid players for your position in the league, and now you want to sit here and act like you want more money. Nah, bro. You're going to play out this contract. I respect Jerry Jones for that. He's not saying nothing negative. He's just saying, listen, I just gave you money. I just made you the highest paid player in your position, and yet you're going to try to perform me now for more? Nah, you're going to eat this, and if you don't play, you don't play. So...
I agree. Now we have pictures and then we have our tier rankings. So it's really, really quick photo. And we could do week 2 predictions too, as well. Okay. Okay, so I saw this and I thought this was pretty cool. So this is an all South, AFC, NFC South, all South team, right? So at quarterback, you have Trevor Lawrence, running back Derrick Henry, wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, wide receiver Mike Evans, wide receiver Chris Godwin, tight end Kyle Pitts, offensive tackle Tristan Wirfs, offensive guard Chris Lindstorm, center Ryan Kelly, guard Quentin Nelson, and then tackle Laramie Tunzel. If this was a team, what do you think their record would be?
Undefeated.
Maybe one loss, and the one loss will be to that one picture of all players like like what was it, 30 and up players?
Mhm.
Remember that one there? I think that would be a loss.
Just look at the positions, like the wide receiver position and the running back position. Look at what you got, man. You arguably got, three wide receivers in there that are in the top 10, 15 in the entire league. And you got Derrick Henry, who's a top 5 running back, arguably probably number 1. Kyle Pitts is one of the, he's not Kelsey, he's not Kettle, but he was projected to come out of college to be the next big thing. So, and then Trevor, he's improved. Trevor's really improved over the last couple of years. So you give Trevor this kind of weaponry and a good offensive line to protect him, bro, they can put up 30 points, and all the defense got to do is make sure they don't let you throw the ball. That's it. Because they know you're going to throw.
I'll put them against the East team.
Who would you put on an all East team? AFC and NFC.
I'll have to sit here and pick my players.
Okay, I'll find. Well, so for every week, I'll find another one for each North, South, East, and West. And then we'll discuss it. Nikki, look, this all South team. What do you think their record would be if this was a offensive team?
Did Nikki hear? Nick, you hear us?
You're muted.
Unbeatable. The offensive line is great. I know. I do.
Okay. Next. All right. So preseason week 2. Okay. So these are the games I'm gonna go down, and then we're gonna give our predictions. Okay. All right. So it's gonna go Frank, Nikki, June, then me. So on Thursday, August 17th, we have the Browns versus the Eagles. Frank.
You said Browns versus Eagles?
Mm-hmm.
I go Eagles.
Nikki.
Oh my God. I'm killing my time. For who? Let me see. What?
Browns versus Eagles.
Brown.
June.
We'll go with the Eagles.
I'm also going Eagles. Then we have Panthers at New York. Frank.
On Panthers.
June.
I'm going with the Giants.
Nikki.
I'm actually going with the Panthers. Giants.
Panthers or Giants?
Giants.
Giants. Okay. And we're Panthers. Then we have the Cincinnati Bengals at Atlanta. Frank.
Going Bengals.
Nikki.
Bengals. Come on, answer the damn question.
I'm going Atlanta, and then June. Their secondary looked real good yesterday against Miami.
Atlanta.
Okay, then we have Jaguars versus Lions. Frank.
Oh, man, this is going to be tough. I'll go Jags.
June.
I'm going to go with the Doug Peterson.
Nikki. Jags.
I'm going to the Lions.
Okay, you're going Lions.
Oh, the hell
okay.
I am. I'm going to motherfucking Jags.
I was about to say. Okay.
I'm I'm gonna go Lions. They look pretty solid yesterday. That comeback against the Giants was crazy. Ben was mad. I loved it. Next we have the Dolphins versus the Texans.
I'm
Frank.
always going with the Jaguars. Okay, preseason, postseason, lip season, D season.
You said Texans?
Yeah.
I went Texans too, Nikki.
Oh, hold on. I was still on the Jaguars. What you had said?
Dolphins versus Texans.
Hey, go ahead, Texans.
June.
Listen, I don't know what to do.
I think Dolphins will lose 2 games in a row, but it is the preseason, so I'm gonna go with Miami anyway.
Okay. Then we have the Bills at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Frank.
What's the game?
Bills at Steelers preseason.
I'll go Steelers.
We look good. Nikki.
Bill.
June.
Steelers.
Then we have the Bears at Colts. Frank.
Watching how the Bears played today and the Colts, I'll go Bears. I'm gonna go the Bears. The Bears. The Bears.
You said Bears? Both
Yeah.
y'all said Bears?
Yep, Bears.
June?
Bears.
Okay, we all went Bears. Then we have the Bucks at the Jets.
I'll go
Right.
Jets.
June.
I'm going with the Bucks.
Nikki. Bucks at Jets. You could just yell Bucks at Jets. The Bucks at New York Jets.
Who cares? The Jets.
Okay, next we have the New England Patriots at Green Bay. Frank.
Pats.
June.
Green Bay.
I'm going the Wisconsin Green Bay Packers.
And Nikki, you said Packs?
Who they play?
Patriots versus the Packers.
I'm gonna do Pat.
Patriots, Packs or Packed?
Patriots.
Okay, it's all you said Pack.
No, well, first of all, I call it Green Bay, but
Titans versus Minnesota. Frank.
I'm gonna go Minnesota.
June.
Minnesota.
Nikki.
going against.
Vikings versus Minnesota. I meant the Titans versus Minnesota.
Oh shoot, Minnesota. What's the Titans?
Okay, then we have Kansas City versus the Cardinals. Frank.
I'm gonna go Chiefs.
June.
Arizona.
Nikki. Okay, then we have the Broncos versus 49ers.
Yeah, 49ers.
June.
Let's ride. I got my money on Russ.
Broncos.
Yes.
Okay, next we have the Raiders at the Rams. I'm going Rams. Frank.
Raiders versus Rams. I'm gonna go Rams.
Nikki.
Raiders.
June.
Raiders.
And then we have the Seahawks versus the Cowboys. I'm going Seahawks. June.
I'm going with definitely not the Cowboys.
Okay. Frank,
Seahawks.
Nikki,
Who them boy?
next we have Saints at Chargers. I'm going Chargers. Frank,
Chargers.
Nikki,
Oh, I need another bucket hat. Who is it? Chargers and who?
Saints.
Oh, I'm going to Chargers. Sorry, I'm going to Saints.
June.
Saints.
And then last we have the Ravens at Washington. Frank,
Ravens.
Nikki,
Ravens.
June.
Lamar. Okay, he's not playing, but it's okay.
I'm going with the Commodores.
I'm gonna also go Washington. So that is our week 2 predictions. Next, all right. So I saw this. It says the best player on every NFL team. So they have St. Brown for the Lions. Do we agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sauce Gardner for the Jets. Do we agree?
Yeah, I'll give them that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We have Leonard for the Colts. Do we agree?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Tyreek Hill for the Dolphins. Do we agree?
Yeah. At least I do.
I agree too. Justin Herbert for the Chargers. Do we agree?
Running back, yeah.
Certain for the Pat Certain for the Broncos. Do we agree?
Yeah. No. I guess so. Consistency is going to play a part there. So, yeah.
Yeah, Pat Certain. Yeah, I would say yeah. We have Jesse Bates for the Falcons. Do we agree? I don't.
No. Who would you put?
Kyle Pitts.
That's what I would have put.
I'll say Kyle Pitts. So we're asking, do we agree if they're the best player on every team? We're at the Falcons right now. Oh, he left.
Who that is?
June left. For the Bills, we have Josh Allen. Do we agree?
Of course.
Cooper Kupp for the Rams. Yeah. Lattimore for the Saints. Do we agree? I don't.
Who?
Lattimore. Marshawn Lattimore. No, I don't think he is the best player on that team.
I would probably go with
AK. Why would they go with AK?
I would. Miles
You-
Garrett for the Browns. Yeah.
You think so? I would say Chubb.
Or Chubb. Or yeah. Brian Burns for the Panthers. Yes. Yes. He's a Florida State boy. TJ Watt for the Steelers. Yes. Patrick Mahomes for Kansas City.
Of course.
Yes.
Know it.
J.R. Alexander for Green Bay. Yeah.
Who else they got? Aaron Jones?
Yep. DJ Moore for the Bears.
Mhm.
Yeah. Max Crosby for the Raiders.
So, see, I think when I'm looking at these names, right, it looks like the people that have the heart of the team. I'm not going to say the best player because Max Crosby is nice, but Devontae Parker is a wide receiver that's going to get the ball. You know what I'm saying? So
Devontae Adams is the best player.
Devontae Adams, my bad. He going to get the ball. So, I mean.
Oh, okay.
Jay Jettis on the Vikings. Yes, I agree. Derrick Henry on the Titans.
Hmm.
But now they have DeAndre Hopkins. So.
But he hasn't played yet, so.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts, Eagles.
Yeah.
Allen on Washington. I don't know who Jay Allen is, but I wouldn't put I
Terry McLaurin over him.
yeah, I was McLaurin.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley on the Giants. Mhm. Michael Parsons on the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Tunzel on the Texans.
I guess. I don't know.
I guess, yeah, I guess so. Trevor Lawrence on the Jags. You could say him. You could say, yeah, I'll say him. Buda Baker, Cardinals. No.
Mm-mm. I don't know the rest of these people. Besides Lamar Jackson, yeah, I would say Mike Evans. Judon, definitely. He is like that's what I'm saying. Judon's like the heart. Like we was
Mhm.
talking about, he's the guy that makes it go. You know what I'm saying? He's the guy that. So I don't think this is really
So
like.
would you put CMC for San Francisco as the best player on the team? Or would you put Debo? Would you put Brock Purdy?
Nah, I
Would you
would
put
put,
Nick Bosa?
I would put CMC only because we know what he's done. But Debo will be there next. You know what I'm saying? So
Next, we have the 10 most hated players in the NFL right now. Do we agree? Deshaun Watson, Aaron Rodgers, Eli Apple, Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Juju Smith-Schuster, Debo Smith, Samuels, Russell Wilson, and Trayvon Diggs. I would say they get the most hate out of currently. These are the top 10 players that get the most hate in the NFL right now. I would say so.
I don't think Deshaun Watson number one. Dak Prescott's getting ate up heavy.
Mhm. I think Jalen Ramsey should be on this list too. He gets a lot of hate too.
Yeah. So I would move Deshaun out the way. Aaron Rodgers, I think, is winning people over with this Hard Knocks. That first episode, he was very different.
It was good.
It was good. I watched it. And I don't even watch Hard Knocks, but this one, he made it interesting. So I don't know. I don't agree with this list. Juju, why do people hate Juju? I don't understand.
Because he said he likes to take, people just hate my child because he's
Well,
himself.
it probably was, when he used to play on the logo. I'm not playing, but this list might be not recent. Just not that the list is not recent, but what they're mad at is not recent.
Why people
you know what I mean?
like spew them hate, And that is it for pictures. So next, so I'm gonna share my screen. So we have problematic people in the NFL. I also added 2 commentators that's been problematic, and not saying that we agree that they're problematic, but they've had some controversies and people have labeled them as problematic. So I'm going to share my screen, and then I have a tier, and we're going to put them on whether we think they're problematic or not problematic. And there's different categories as well. So let me share my screen so I can go to the app. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to get another book in all CEO.
Just waiting for it to load. Okay. So the categories we have are not problematic. It's at the top. We don't think they're problematic at all. Then we have tolerable, like we tolerate them. Icky, meaning like, they're kind of icky. Neither like or dislike, or very problematic at the bottom, okay? So the first player that we have is Eli Apple. So do we think Eli Apple, hold on, sorry, I'm having technical difficulties. So we'll discuss, and then I'll put them in the categories that we think that they belong in. So we have not problematic, tolerable, icky, neither like or dislike, or problematic. And the first person we have is Eli Apple. Where do we think he falls?
What's the one right before the last one?
Neither like or dislike. And then problematic.
I think he's icky.
You think he's
They
icky?
hate him. People hate him. He talks too damn much. He ain't that great, but it don't bother me.
Huh?
That's funny.
Where would you put him, June?
Yeah, I would put him as you know, we're gonna need some Benadryl. You know, that dude's itchy.
Icky?
Nick said itchy.
Icky. I-C-K-Y. Icky.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought it said itchy.
No, icky.
Oh, yeah, definitely icky.
And then Frank, I don't know if Frank is still muted.
Nah, problematic.
You put him I put him as icky. So with 3-1, Eli Apple's gonna go under icky. Okay. Add. All right. The next person we have is Antonio Brown.
problematic.
I
Problematic.
put him as problematic. June.
Just put him in.
Both problematic. Definitely a problem.
So problematic.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Toxic.
All right. Next we have Aaron Rodgers. I'm gonna say that he's tolerable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would put him under tolerable.
Correct. I would do tolerable.
What's the
June?
options again?
Not problematic, tolerable, icky, neither like or dislike, or problematic.
I think he's icky.
You say
He falls in between icky and what's the other one right on top of it?
Neither like or dislike.
No. People
You said
dislike him.
no above it.
He don't fall there. Yeah, he's
Tolerable.
either between tolerable and icky. He's right in between there.
So we'll put him under tolerable because we have 3 tolerables. Okay.
He's more icky.
Next is Jalen Ramsey.
Neither
He's
like.
neither like or like.
Dislike.
Yeah, because he's not problematic. The dude is a problem when he doesn't get his way. So I would say neither like or dislike.
Yeah, that's that. Yep, that's him.
June.
I think he's icky, you know.
Yeah, I would say neither like or dislike. But I
He goes on
I
Twitter,
I don't have a problem with him. Next we have Nick Bosa.
Not problematic.
No, he's the top one. He all right. So see, okay, now as a player or as an individual?
Just overall. These are overall. Like overall player,
what's
individual.
the first one?
Not problematic.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, he number 1.
I would say neither like or dislike. June.
Not problematic.
Yeah, that's not fair. You can't put him and Jalen in the same spot. Some people don't like Jalen. Some people like him. But Nick Bosa, he all right. But okay.
Next we have Nick Wright.
Oh Lord, problematic. I see you, Frank, baby.
June.
You said Nick Wright?
Yeah, Nick Wright.
Icky.
I say icky too. June.
I think he's not problematic. I think he's a humble guy, you know.
Where would you put him?
I don't know. I think problematic.
You think so? We have a tie. 2 problematics and tolerable. So we'll put him in both. Oh, let me delete that. How do I delete a photo? Oh.
Ooh.
So we said problematic and icky, so we'll add them to both.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, I'm having difficulties. So we said icky and problematic. So he's going on both tiers. Okay. Next we have Skip Bayless.
Um,
Oh,
I say he's icky. But he's been problematic very recently.
yeah, I think he's tolerable though. He has to be tolerable because if not, the reason I use tolerable for people that they could be problematic, but because they produce and they give you what you need, you deal with it. You know, like Antonio Brown, if he still stayed on teams and played and did what he had to do, then I may say he's tolerable. But he becomes problematic because he doesn't do that. He becomes a problem instead of being a bitch and sailor. You know, oh my God, you're not giving me the ball, but I'm still going out there catching 100 yards and a touchdown. You know what I'm saying?
no, he's problematic. Because regardless of what he's doing or what he did, like, you know, like some way, somehow, the focus is off the team. And even for 10 minutes, it's on him. He's problematic.
June.
Who was it?
Skip Bayless.
I was talking about AB.
Oh.
I think he's icky. I think he's icky.
I say icky, but he's tolerable, but I say icky. June.
Tolerable.
So we'll put him in both. Okay, next we have Urban Meyer.
Who?
Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer. Problematic.
I would say he's problematic as well.
He just wasn't ready. But yeah.
Frank. June.
He's definitely problematic. He's
That's
like the
Frank?
toxic version of this guy, Antonio.
Yeah, AB, right.
Well, Frank is not here at the moment, but we got 3 for problematic, so he wins that tier. Next we have Cam Newton.
That's funny.
That's a good one.
He's icky.
He probably where
sometimes.
Aaron is.
I will put him under icky. He's just icky. He's just an icky person. Is Frank back? Oh, he's using a restroom. I would say Cam Newton is icky. I don't know. He just makes my skin like icky, you know?
For Cam, you need a diva. That's what you need. Diva.
That's the same thing you need for Aaron. But
Thanks.
Yeah, listen, I'm good with it.
I think they're equal.
So you will so are we agreeing, is he icky or is he tolerable? Who says icky?
Who?
I do.
Cam Newton.
Icky. Come on, how you telling kid? I don't have a ring, you don't have a ring, but my bank account's bigger than yours. Like, come on, bro. Are you that petty? Like, stop.
Oh, we put Urban Meyer while using a restroom in problematic.
Why? Because he kicked the kicker?
No, because he was problematic.
And then he left the team to get lap dances from college girls when he was supposed to be like on a family emergency.
My God. Listen, let's congratulate him. He was getting lap dance. It could be worse.
I did this one because of everything that's been going on since this person got traded when it comes to this person, and that is CJ Gardner-Johnson. He's been a very not a fan favorite I would say he's been very icky as well.
Not a like or dislike, to be honest.
Yeah.
Icky, okay. So it was funny, right? The top 10 players of the NFL came out on Monday, and he made a
That's funny.
oh my gosh, it is the greatest thing ever. So CJ Gardner-Johnson wasn't named in the top 100 at all, right? But he waited till the top 10 to 1 because I think he thought he was going to be a top 10 NFL player come out. And he tweeted, noted with laughing faces. And the comments, the tweets didn't disappoint. And I think my favorite one was when the top 100 through 90 came out, you should have known you wasn't going to be on this list, brother.
That's funny.
Next we have Juju Smith-Schuster. He is not problematic at all.
Yeah, he's not.
He's not problematic at all.
He's not.
No, I think he's grown, but yeah, he's not problematic.
This one has been very controversial in the last decade. Michael Vick.
No, he's not. Not problem. Vic? No.
You
Yeah,
know a lot of, but you know why a lot of people hate him. That's why I put him on the list.
Yeah, but no, that was he wasn't. It was his house that he bought.
Mhm.
No, his father threw him under the bus. Like, come on, no, not problematic.
I would say the same. I wouldn't put him under problematic either.
Yeah.
June,
My cousin, hell no.
Nikki.
Yeah, they're not problematic.
Okay. And the last person we have is Colin Kaepernick.
That's interesting.
Non-problematic.
No. If he's not problematic, he's gonna be icky. Straight up.
Jim.
I don't think
We can't hear you.
he's not problematic.
Yeah, I would put not problematic.
What?
And I'm happy I said that. Now, well, Frank, why do you think he's icky?
Because he doesn't it's the stuff that he says and does that I would say icky. He's not problematic because you never had an issue with him until he.
What about tolerable?
I wouldn't put him as tolerable because his last year in the league, his numbers weren't there. I give tolerable to people that bring a value or an asset to organization, even though they have certain things that are negative. That's why Aaron Rodgers is tolerable. Aaron Rodgers, if he was a sucky quarterback, nobody's tolerating him. He'll be problematic, right? Colin Kaepernick, again, we always talk about, like Nikki says, you pick a side. You got to pick and choose. You can't play both. Be real. We always have these conversations, people being real with each other and stuff like that. Don't sit here and act like these teams didn't want to sign you just because you took a knee. Let's talk about how you went to Cuba and you was talking about Cuba like a Fidel Castro or some other stuff like that. Let's talk about how you was talking bad about the Ravens ownership and called them like a Django, but then you wonder why they don't want to sign you. That's to me, that's icky. You know what I'm saying? Like I would tolerate you if you was playing and you was producing. I can't say not a like or dislike because you've done stuff to make it hot for yourself. You know what I'm saying? I would say not problematic, but depending on the eyes of who's seeing it, he is problematic. So, to me, icky's perfect for him. Oh, and the last one, I'm gonna tell you this.
You got outvoted.
It's okay. Listen.
Yeah, no, I ain't. Why? And the one that he talked bad about organization. Whenever they're leaving, they all do it. So that's a wash, right?
No, he was never.
At least for me.
Ravens, Nick.
Yeah, but regardless, people talk bad about. Man, they crucified Urban Meyer, and he was on the Jaguars. I mean, it is what it is.
He did some stuff that caused him not to get the job. That's what I'm saying. So when you do stuff like
but nobody. Okay.
that's like you come to interview at my company, and outside of my company, you saying, well, the owner and the players are like Django, and it's a slave mentality or some whatever. You make a derogatory comment towards the people that own the company. You can't expect to get hired by that company afterwards.
Absolutely.
And then you
For
can't.
the race.
Nobody's giving you a chance.
Yeah, but well, you know what? It's fine. You got outvoted.
That's fine. Exactly. I'm listen. I tell you what. You're right. He's not a problem. You want to know why? Because he ain't even playing the fucking league. So let's go. He's not a problem. He ain't affecting nobody's organization.
Well, then, if that's the case, why did you say AB was problematic? He's not playing either.
You said what?
Why did you say AB was problematic? He's not playing either.
I just because he would quit and not stay the whole thing. If he would still stay on a team but talk shit and produce, I would put him as
but your reason of saying that he's not problematic because he's not playing. Neither is AB, but you put him problematic.
Yeah, I got outvoted, so I'm just talking shit because I got outvoted. I mean, in my opinion about Colin, he's not problematic. He's not a problem. He's not problematic. I would just say he's icky. That's it. That's all. He's a great person. That's the bad thing about Colin. You never heard nothing bad about him until he took a knee. That's it. If it wasn't for that, right, you would have never had you never heard about a DUI, no domestic issues.
Right. But that's why we say he's not problematic, because he had no issues until he took a knee. That's the sole reason why he's not problematic.
Right? Is the fact that some people have argued that the knee wasn't the issue with him. It was his escape.
We will never know.
And we won't. And that's another problem with him. That I'm glad you brought that up. I'm so glad you did that. Because he had a chance to expose the NFL and he chose not to.
A lot of people choose not to.
No. He went to court. He went to court. He sued the owners and the NFL. They paid him off and made him sign an NDA.
Right. But if they didn't feel like they were guilty or whatever, why would they pay him off? A lot of stuff is said without any words being said.
You can't affect change if you're not willing to expose the people out there. It was just.
They had them, but that's what I'm saying. There's different ways to expose.
Nikki,
one-sided in your thoughts.
Nikki, let me tell you something.
Your thoughts play into him being icky, but because that's what you believe. But I think it's very one-sided. But okay, I mean,
the Colin Kaepernick as a whole is a touchy subject, right? Because there's a lot of mixed emotions there, right?
Right.
Depending what side of the field or what side of the fence you stand on,
absolutely.
Look at him as a hero, a martyr, or you might look at him as a problem, right? I personally, Frank, I don't think he did it for the right reasons, right? You've had players, Marshawn Lynch, for example. During the anthem, he spoke against the NFL. He spoke out on different things, but he still played and still got hired on different teams.
Absolutely, because he wasn't the face of the I hate to say movement, but he wasn't the face. He was part of it, but he wasn't the face. The face took the brunt.
Marshawn Lynch was speaking up before Colin was.
But Frank, speaking up and he took a stand, it's two different things. I'm not against any of them. You get what I'm saying? But you can't say, oh, because you did this and this didn't end up for you, but you did that and it did end up, yours is worse or better than the other. You can't say that.
Yeah, no. So I will say this, right? Again, it's what you produce for the team, right? Makes you tolerable or a problem, right?
Perfect.
With Marshawn Lynch, because he still produced and he was still an asset, teams tolerated his BS or tolerated whatever he felt. Remember, the dude wasn't even doing interviews. That's where the whole "I'm here so I don't get fined," because he would just show up to not get fined, but he didn't want to talk to them. But teams would deal with that because they knew what they was getting. With Colin Kaepernick, and I said this before, if he was your top 5 or even top 10 quarterback in the league, teams would deal with the kneeling. But because he wasn't that, and he wasn't, like, the last few years, he wasn't producing, whether it's due to injury, whether it's due to the lack of the pieces around him, whatever, he wasn't producing. Teams didn't want to take the chance with him. And I feel that because of where our country is and where we at as minorities and everything else, we like to hold on to something and make it about that. And we forego everything else that is a part in that. Because I guarantee you, if Colin Kaepernick was winning Super Bowls, he'd be on a team. If it was Patrick Mahomes, he's on a team. If it's Lamar Jackson, he's on a team. If it's one of these Tom Brady, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, they take a knee. Oh, we'll forget that. He took a knee, but because he's winning.
Y'all almost crucified Lamar after a while about him refusing to sign. Y'all almost crucified him.
But that's too different, love. That's the way.
I didn't say it wasn't, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, it's what tickles your fancy that you push with. You just use a Lamar as a thing. You're right. People might still, but at one point, Lamar said he wanted to be left alone. He didn't want it. Who called? That was the question we asked.
But teams wanted Lamar. They just didn't want to pay him fully guaranteed money.
Oh.
He had offers.
Oh.
We would have to go back and look at the tape, but he had offers. The problem is the issue with Lamar. The reason I bring up Lamar is because Lamar produces. Lamar's not.
I'm not against what you're saying. I'm not against what you're saying, but I think what you're saying is so easy to poke holes in.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
understand, because it's really a basic statement, right? They produce to forgo what you do because you produce on the field. It's
right.
Earlier, what's in it for me with them, right? So if I give to my team, what am I going to get out of it? If I'm an NFL owner, or June Bree, we're all owners. We own a team, right? I own the Patriots. June got the Eagles. Bree got the Steelers. You got the Jags. We're sitting down smoking cigars or whatever y'all do, drinking, having a good time, spending billionaire money, and we having this conversation. A lot of us want what? Revenue. What's going to bring more money into our organization and make us win games? If you don't fit that, I'm not going to deal with your bullshit. I'm not going to deal with your nonsense, your rhetoric, or none of that. But if you produce that, and I know bringing you to my team is going to get me a ring, i.e. Antonio Brown with the Bucks. Brady knew he needed him. He brought him. They won a Super Bowl. After that, it went downhill. The team is going to put up with shit. They're going to eat your shit because they know they're going to get what they want. What's in it for me? But with Kaepernick, at the time, that wasn't the thing. His numbers had decreased. He wasn't the same, and he became more of a problem than he was tolerable or even an asset to my organization.
Right.
Because let's be honest, these owners, they don't care about if you stand for the flag or not. You think Jerry Jones gives a fuck of whether you stand for the American flag or not? No. He's a billionaire. All he cares about is the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl. And if Colin Kaepernick could have guaranteed him that, he would have signed that motherfucker and stood by him. Oh, yeah, for many years in America, we treated minorities like shit. His family probably slaves. You know what I'm saying? So
that's right. That's right.
You know? So again, and to be clear, Colin Kaepernick is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. He went to the Super Bowl. He been to the Promised Land and an NFC Championship. So I think if you put Kaepernick in his prime on the Dallas Cowboys with a top 5 defense, the Dallas Cowboys are Super Bowl champs all over again. And they win the East. That's how I feel. Because Kaepernick had talent. But, you know, people don't want the drama, man. And we've had that conversation before. I'm mixed about it. But, you know, at the end of the day, I probably would have signed him. Because there was a time when there wasn't a lot of people out there. You didn't have the Joe Burrows and the Patrick Mahomes and the Jalen Hurts and the Lamar Jacksons and who else? Jay Herbo or Bree, who else? That's 5 quarterbacks I named We didn't have that at one point. When he was trying to get back in the league, we didn't have all that. So he could have definitely been top 10 quarterback in the league if he came back to the right team. You know, so it's cool. I'm with it. I wish him well.
Yeah, it's cool.
Oh.
That's all we have.
Beautiful conversation. Before I do whatever, I truly appreciate the shout out in the beginning of the segment. Unfortunately, I was out with my son, and we was at the service was free. I'm on my way to this game. I'm going to be late. But Jaguars, I'm coming. Rest assured, I'm coming. Y'all pray for me. Y'all is in America. Y'all pray for me. My life is gonna change starting in August. But y'all stay blessed. Listen, Texas is HOTT, and that's really an understatement. So y'all stay hydrated. Shit, if y'all can stay indoors, do that. Do that.
Definitely.
And for me, till next time. Shoot.
The Jets are currently winning 3-0. The Bills won 23-19, and the Bears won 23-17.
Love Bears.
Always a pleasure doing this with you guys every week. Next week we'll have another tier with a different category and different tier groups. So I look forward to doing it with you guys again next weekend. Thanks for listening to us and supporting us. Frank, and then June is closing us out.
Oh man, another week. I appreciate it. And Nikki, again, we're proud of you.
Yes.
You know, a lot of things going on in life. Is a circle of life. June retired last October. I'm retiring in 28 days. And look, you made it. So it's like the torch is being passed down. Hopefully, you know, if that's Bree's path, you know, I hope she gets it. But we're super proud of you. I'm super happy that football's back. And these are conversations I like. I like when we can dialogue, debate, and discuss different point of views to give the viewers what content, you know. So I'm good with it. Happy to be here.
And June, you're closing us out.
Well, I want to say it's a pleasure being on here again. Another week closer to the celebration of Frank's retirement. You know, the closer we get, man, the more butterflies I get for him. Even though he's gonna start feeling them as we get closer. Yep. So we get closer also to the opening of the Eagles' first game of the season, along with the rest of the NFL. But aside from that, make sure you follow us on Spotify. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to any one of us four. And aside from that, you guys take care. Stay hydrated. It's been over 100 degrees in Jacksonville, so I can only imagine how it's been all over the world. And for those families affected in that Maui fires, our hearts are with you guys. Stay tuned. Stay blessed.
Bye.